everybody. Welcome to Bish's RV. My name is Josh the RV Nerd, and I'm a little surprised, borderline bewildered and bamboozled at how much I like the updates on this Arcadia series back here. So this is, if you're not familiar with it, this is basically what replaced Laredo historically in Keystone's lineup. It's the sister to Cougar, and it's like they've been trying to sort of, you know those awkward teenage years where you're trying to figure out yourself? It feels like they finally got through it, and it feels like they really got it going on and dialed in here. The overall look of this thing, it looks and feels so much classier, more modern, and upscale than I've seen before. Like, just the whole color palette has changed. It's changed completely, and it feels far more modern, and it has a more on trend with what's current and residential look going on the inside. But the things like getting rid of the boxy valances and window trims, like they're doing some very nice clean work on this. But there's little details like, okay, you know, if we start talking, the underbelly is enclosed, it's forced air heated, it has tank heaters, it's got auto leveling, it's got a big shock dampening pin box and suspension package. Like a lot of RVs have those things. Those are really nice things and they're all here, but they don't always look good. And sometimes you can look good without costing a ton more money. And this is really what they did. Like, even if you look at the face of their island, the way that they just did some skeleton work and just detailed this out and put some nice touches in it. It was always mechanically, it was always a good fifth wheel in terms of like features list. It just didn't always have that Smex appeal, and they are getting it figured out. So there's some things they do the same, and there's some things they do different, and you might like them, you might hate them. I'm gonna go through and just try to lay it all down on the line fair for you, and you decide if you like it or not. Leave me some notes, let me know what you would keep, what you would change given the opportunity, and what you think of the new generation of Arcadia fifth wheels over here. Holy cow. You know that that thing that happens, like, you've been kind of warm all day, so you finally take a chance to drink some water, and you just pound a whole bottle of water because your body's like, oh my God, don't stop, I've been waiting for this. Like, you just didn't have a clue how thirsty you actually were. I kind of just had that moment. Holy crap. Because what you can't tell from this video, like, you see that we're inside a building. This is not a climate-controlled building. This is a hot warehouse on a hot day in Goshen, Indiana. And I'm sweating over here. And I've been recording half dozen videos all day, every day for the past month. And if I sound a little funny sometimes, I'm bopping a Hall's cough drop around my throat. So my you know, esophagus doesn't turn into hamburger effectively. so I can keep talking is basically what it is. So you've seen this layout before. If you've ever seen any other RVs, you've definitely seen this layout before. This is like a very, very popular couples camping fifth wheel arrangement. I want to focus on some of the more interesting updates here. And like, you can see that it's a dinette. You can see it's a theater seat. We're going to open the hide-a-bed. Like, I don't think I need to explain all that verbally more than I already have. I want to point out the fact that they've cleaned up their window treatments a lot. They do still have a top valance, but it's pretty minimal. It's out of the way. And then you see, like, when we look at the face of the island, when we look up here at the kitchen accent light overhead, soffit, is that what that's called? Soffit lighting? I'm not good with those terms. I'm sorry. The light above the sink is what I call it because I'm a simpleton like that. They've given this thing some very interesting Smex appeal. I also personally really like the single big cushion for the hide-a-bed sleeper sofa in the back. For me, it just looks cleaner. It looks a little more fresh and modern. It looks larger to me. I don't know. Something else I want to point out here. This is something that Keystone developed in-house. They call it their Blade Pure air system. They have one of the only air conditioner systems in the entire RV industry that can actually utilize residential household filtration to help give you better air quality inside these things, because you camp at some place that's kind of dusty. It's crazy how much that gets blown into your camper, and then you start blowing your nose, and kind of like when I was drinking that bottle of water, you're just like, oh my gosh, this just isn't stopping. I'm blowing my nose, and it's just not stopping. You don't care about that, probably. I don't know. Anyway, maybe you care about me blowing my nose. I'm not sure. Power theater recliner with heat massage was kind of a surprise. Still has a thigh buster USB plug set. However, You have both cup holders and a wireless phone charge pad down in there. I could see some larger devices or some phone cases, like the big wallet style phone cases, not really being compatible with that. But frankly, those aren't really compatible with magnetic charging, regardless. So I don't think I'm going to knock the thing for it. You do have a lot of dimmable lighting in this, by the way. So when it's like movie time and you want to kind of bring everything down a little bit, you can. This is also interesting. Notice how the side stands beside the sofa are really slim. Like they put some power outlets at smart locations. So like if you want to plug some phone chargers or something back in there, you can. But they gave it a wide body sofa in a standard body RV. And as a result, it just has a lot of room to be able to stretch out and really chill and relax here. All of our cabinetry is all pocket screwed and lumber core, and this is a completely new decor for them. Last year, the Arcadia decors looked, how can I say, it it looked like a decor that you might see in an Arby's. It had that sort of classic brown Western sort of feel to it. And for some folks, are like, awesome. Some people feel that that kind of brown coloration pattern in RVs is very timeless. Some people don't. There are some people who cannot stand this. This isn't white, but it's very close. Obviously, it's like an eggshell or whatever Martha Stewart would call it. It's an off-white. It's definitely lighter and brighter, but it's not a stark polar white. Some people can't stand this. I think a lot of people appreciate the big smart TV straight across from the theater seat, though. That's what I call the Maxell tapes viewing arrangement. Remember those old commercials where the guy's speakers were blowing him away? That was Maxell, wasn't it? Am I wrong? Anyway. Electric space heating fireplace down below. This also has holding tank heaters, by the way, as long as we're talking about electric heating. And as long as I'm sitting here and looking at it, they completely rebuilt and redesigned their islands. And again, look at like, it's just decorative. But how many RV brands won't even consider making that look nice? They'll just put a flat panel on the front of it and be done with it. And it's good enough. I get it. But they also completely rebuilt the bottom base of this. They took the heat vents out of the floor. Did you notice that? This is now pet friendly and easy cleaning. And they gave that a like a galvanized steel base on that island. So first of all, that island is now more structurally sound than it's ever been in the past. Secondly, if you have like a Swiffer mop or something wet, it won't cause that the contact paper on the cabinetry to get like wet and spongy and decay and erode because it's metallic, you know. So they're helping you keep the thing in better shape, better, longer, stronger, easier with less damage, fewer problems. There's also they did awesome with the kitchen power outlets in this thing. There's something about this floor plan where this kitchen sink faucet is in my way constantly, no matter where I go. But notice the symmetry here. The outlets on the left and right side, and about half of the outlets that you can see are inverter prepped, by the way. What do you think about that backsplash? We get another look at it when we twist over to the coffee bar. I like how that wraps around. So my 2 cents again, because I'm not an interior decorator, is that the backsplash, I like it, but I also like that it's not in more places because it's very busy. I like that it's only in a couple little small accent locations and it's not dominating the room because you know what it looks like if you stare at that backsplash long enough? Remember those like pictograms or whatever they were called, those pictures where if you stared at it long enough and your eyes glazed over, you could see a sailboat for some reason that everybody went nuts over. Remember they were in shopping malls, those displays? And now they're gone. They just vanished. As quickly as they showed up, they vanished. I just went on a really long tangent. I'm so sorry. Squirrel! But anyway, that's what the backsplash reminds me of. A minute and a half of oratory exposition and jazz exploration. If you do prefer a table and chairs, by the way, I'm pretty sure that one's available. They're standard dinette though. I do like that it has the easy access for storage, and that's what's called a dream dinette. So it's got less of a knee knocker, and it does fold down into a sleeper pretty easily. And then popping everything open here, you may have noticed how in the Super Slide, we have a carpetless floor flush slide. The kitchen, it is carpetless, but it does have a little bit of a toe kick. However, they were very good about pulling the stovetop and everything forward to you so that you're never really bending over. And notice how the microwave, once we get twisted around to it, the microwave actually is recessed back from the stovetop a little bit. So even though it's not a floor flush kitchen slide, I don't think you're going to have any usage and or functional issues with that. Now, as you can see, the TV can obviously swing around because it's a giant pantry tainment unit with a whole bunch of storage buried behind it right next to another pantry. So overall, storage in this floor plan, really not a problem. Plus, that whole frontal coffee bar with all the outlets, that'd be a perfect spot for like your coffee maker. And you can have a good size like Keurig machine or something over there. You don't necessarily have to go to like just the mini K-cup machine or something like that. And maybe you prefer that. I don't know. I just know that you could put a bigger machine in this if you are so inclined, or have room for other handy things like, I don't know, an air fryer. I tell you what, we were late to adopt an air fryer in my house. I'm going on a tangent again if you hadn't noticed. But I am glad we did. Like, my daughter used to hate leftovers because they never tasted as good. So, like, she wouldn't eat all of her, I don't know, chicken nuggets. You pick. Well, now we pop them in the air fryer, warm them up, crisp them up. And half the time, I swear she wants us to order extra nuggets just so that she has leftovers that we could pop into the air fryer. If you've never used one of those things, it's I don't know. I think like the Amish and the Wiccan Druids got together and cast some kind of magic spell on those things because it just defies the laws of cooking as I possibly know them. Anyway, moving our way upstairs here. The bathroom is a pretty straightforward arrangement. This has really become the default upper deck bathroom that you find in a lot of things nowadays. As long as I am looking up here, show you that it is the conventional dollar store 4-inch fart fan that looks like it came off a computer cooler. Although actually what's funny is my home computer actually has a more powerful fan on it than that. And to give you a reference point here, starting a little bit with the sink on the left side of the screen, you can see you've got a big Lipitorage storage galorage cabinet right there. It's not just a mirror glued to the wall. Scanning our way down, visibly this rocks people, but I've used sinks like this with a side faucet. I've personally never had issues with it. And I would really love it if other people who actually have owned RVs, if you've had a side mount faucet like that, has it ever caused you any sort of problems? If you could sort of leave a note for the class, I would appreciate that because, you know, if I say it's fine, well, I'm a biased party. You know, I'm not in sales myself, but I obviously represent a sales organization. So I want you to hear from an actual owner, and maybe they like it, maybe they don't. I don't know. I'm gonna put it out to the winds of chance, as it were, and let people just, you know, share their feedback. Anyway, moving on. I looking at that big linen cabinet in the bathroom space there, I threw my little Leatherman multi-tool up in that corner. If little demos like that to understand the size and depth and scope and space are handy, let me know, and I can try to remember to do more of that moving forward. The headroom in the shower space, by the way, was nice, and you might have noticed that is a nicely sized shower. And I don't know if you can really see it from here. Let me get you in around the corner nice and slowly. It does have a corner seating area. So if you prefer to bathe or you want to prop your leg up to shave your kneecaps for some reason, that's a thing that you could do right there rather easily. Countertops, you might have noticed they're a thermofoil all the way through, by the way. Working our way up front here. Notice that the bathroom decor, the wall panels were a little bit different from the rest of the RV. Then again, I guess that's actually like pretty common. Like in my home, it's the same way. So this is 50 amp all the time. You have an optional second air, but when you get it, it's the exact same air conditioner that we have downstairs. Same big unit, same tied to the central ducting. So you have an air conditioner in the front and back to equally cool the RV effectively, efficiently with dual filtration. That's cool. This is also a room where I think the lighter color palette is really doing us some favors because it has opened up this space very, very nicely. I will say it's small, but there is a little bit of an ankle breaker step at the base of the bed. And people go, why? That's where an upper deck cross member is located so that they don't have the any sort of, you know, eliminating structural issues. They're trying to add some extra reinforcement there. And that is, by the way, a 60 by 80 true queen bed. So you can get just about any residential replacement you want. Is that Olympic queen capable? We got a slide. When we close the slide, I'll know if it is or is not. In the meantime, though, Take a look at those side stands on each side of the bed. Those are little mini dresser drawer spaces right there. Obviously, we've got the storage going on above the bed, but you haven't really seen closet space. That's all located over in the slide. It's just a conventional wardrobe slide with a couple big dresser drawers below that, and obviously the bed's easy lift. So it's a very straightforward north-south bedroom. The thing is, I don't know that north-south bedrooms quite get all the love that I personally feel they deserve. A lot of people go crazy for an east-west bed slide. But a lot of people criticize an east-west bed slide because there's no side stands to put anything. And I can get into the reasons why, but basically, it's extremely expensive to put good size side stands in a bedroom slide. Like if you tried to do a good, like, what is that, like 15-inch deep side stand, that RV with an east-west bed would actually cost much, much more. And again, I can elaborate on that further, but that's the case. I like that big window over here in the campsite of the RV. So what I'm getting at with all this, if you want to be able to use the bed at a travel stop, if you want to have a really nice bedside stand, you should actually not be looking at an RV with a bed slide, and you should be looking at an RV with a north-south walk-around bed like this one. Okay, so with the closet slide closed, you see obviously that you can use the bed, but it does squish the bed over a little bit. So even though there's a little bit of a gap over there where it looks like maybe you could have gone to a wider Olympic queen, when the closet slide closes, it needs all the space it has. So this is a true queen bedroom, and that's all she wrote, which is different from Angela Lansbury and Murder, because Murder, she wrote. Again, I'm afraid that my pop culture references are more culture and less pop nowadays as I gain revolutions around the sun, but hey, there we are. Moving downstairs, obviously bedroom and bathroom very functional. This RV also gives us very easy access. I thought it did. And that's why I still take the time to close the slides up, because sometimes eyeballing it, I get it wrong. At a glance, it looks like you should be able to get to this fridge in transit, but because of the island location, it kind of blocks it. Here's the thing. These refrigerators are built by the manufacturer to have the hinge on the left or right side. It could be flipped. So in its current configuration, I think it's a little easier to use at a destination. But if travel functionality is important for you, give us a call. We can flip the hinge to the other side so that you could be able to open that door in transit. If that's helpful information, whether you're buying from Bish's RV or not, if you like that, if you like how we still take the time to double check this, hit that subscribe button. Know that we'll always shoot you straight, sometimes even if it isn't the prettiest of info that we encounter. And here's a shopping pro tip for you while we take a second look at the weights and measures, and it's related to these weights and measures. If you're out there RV shopping and somebody points at this fifth wheel and you say, I got a half-ton pickup, could I tow that? If they just go, yep, you need to get away from them because they have no concern about your safety. This RV, the empty dry weight, potentially the GVW fits within the realm of some half tons, certainly. But by the time you have a loaded hitch weight, it's probably going to exceed what most half tons handle. My general recommendation on this is going to be some variety of 3/4 ton pickup. You don't have to go super heavy duty diesel. I don't think you need to do that. Actually, I think a 3/4 ton gasser would be a very good fit for something like this right here. Overall, the size of this, the whole point of this floor plan is to be something that's not the biggest, heaviest, flashiest, most expensivest thing you've ever seen. It gives you that nicer kind of high-end living room feel with the opposing big slides, but it's a little more of a condensed, truncated upper deck. Look at that frickin' pin box, though, sticking out. The pin box and suspension treatment on this are made for, like, if you want to get going down the road, it's kind of made for it. Now, again, the front end of this thing looks like a sperm wheel. It does. But here's the funny thing. Notice how it helps keep that air conditioner down a little bit lower, so the second bedroom air doesn't actually increase the overall height of the RV. The tallest point's your main air conditioner in the living room, but it also creates that extra space around the headboard area of the bed over the negative space created by the pin box. So it's a weird looking design, but it actually provides a lot of feature and function and benefit. I don't know that everybody ever necessarily spots, how inside and outside relate to one another. These are those, I'm going to call it like a mechanically assisted magnet holdback. So when you flip the baggage door up, there's also a pin latch that magnets in place to keep that sucker from falling on top of your head, which I have seen even at RV shows inside where there's no wind, just from people moving around in the RV with the leveling gear down. So that absolutely can happen, but that pin will prevent that from happening. And is there anybody who doesn't like slam latches? It seems like that's the thing everybody wants. It's the thing that I would want, certainly, you know. They use two different slide systems here. On your lower deck, you have AccuSlide. On the upper deck, you have Exact Slide. There's advantages and drawbacks to all kinds of different systems out there. If you're curious, if you're not intimately familiar with all those things, feel free to drop a little note and I'll do my best to kind of fill in the blanks for you. As we work our way around here, again, focus on the fact that we have dual power patio awnings and maximum campsite viewing, giving you just fantastic views and cross breeze airflow. Now, you can see how the windows are tinted, but if it's lit up inside, you can still see into the RV. So that's where those blackout roller shades really come in handy for privacy. If we get down below the rear skirt line back here, you don't have to put your sewer stuff up in that front passenger. Not all of it necessarily, because you do have that little holder tube back there, by the way. You've also got an accessory hitch hanging off the back. You might notice I called it an accessory hitch and not a towing hitch. It probably, well, I know for a fact it has the same technical structure and capacity as a towing hitch, but because it doesn't have the safety chain hooks and stuff, we can't call it that. But look at this. Basically, your 50 amp power plug has a circuit analyzer built right into it. So if you plug into that thing and one of those lights goes wonky, like it tells you, you have a bad ground or something like that, or a problem with the power into which the RV is plugged, it will tell you right away. Now, I do still recommend having a circuit analyzer that you plug into the park post before you plug your fifth wheel in, but hey, if you're walking by it and you know something weird is going on, you can get something unplugged before you have a major electrical meltdown happen, which I think is a very handy feature. This is behind the fireplace. I want to give them serious accommodations and credit for this. No space gone to waste. That is nerdism number 37, ladies and gentlemen. They also do exhaust your cooking heat outdoors with the little vent right here. Now, here's a little pro tip if you weren't aware. These vents, I've heard some people say they don't exhaust heat. They absolutely do. There's a locking flapperdoodle deluxe down there. And the reason that it locks is so that it doesn't flap open in transit, because if you're towing it in the rain, you don't want rain to blow in through your stovetop exhaust vent hood. Also, you want it to lock to make sure you can keep critters out of the stupid thing while it's in storage. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know a squirrel can get on top of that sucker, climb in upside down, and get inside and tear open a box of Nutter Butter peanut butter sandwich cookies. Ask me how I know and why I'm a big fan of the fact that it has the locking Flappy Doodle 3000. It is a single sewer outlet, by the way, right under that whole like water docking station. One thing I do want to mention, your spare tire and your battery and stuff would be located in that front compartment. I don't think the frontal compartment area on this RV is quite large enough to be able to accommodate a generator. Are there any owners out there who have actually gone down that road and can verify either way for us? Please leave a comment. And a quick talk about solar. This RV has by default a 220 watt solar package with a Victron 30 amp MPPT charge controller, which is not the kind of thing where you're going to be able to upgrade and expand on it and run the air conditioner off solar. Frankly, solar doesn't run anything. It only charges batteries. But you could easily slap a second panel up there. The RV is pre-wired for a 2,000 watt inverter, and they do offer that kind of hardware also from the factory level. And frankly, if you need much more than that for boondocking purposes, you probably are in the realm of a pretty fairly custom DIY package anyway, and you may actually consider looking at some variety of generator potentially as compared to a big mega solar install. If you look at how much money you have to pay for solar, inverter, and batteries versus what you could do with a generator, the dollars and cents are completely wacky from one another. Now, certainly there's other things like you have to maintain a generator, it requires fuel. I get all that, but I don't know that solar is necessarily the answer for everything. But that's the problem. Solar is not one size fits all. It's what size fits you. And manufacturers can't have a custom package for everybody. So they have battery tending generic packages, and we can help you get the rest of the way there at our stores. So obviously this is a very generic floor plan that a lot of different builders make. The good news on that, if you check the links in the description, not only will you be able to double check pricing and availability on one of these at our Bish's stores, but also take a look at some of the other builders who make a similar floor plan and decide which one you like best, basically, and go from there. Actually, leave me a note on this or any of the videos if you check out a couple of those, which one you would go with and why. In the meantime, I would kind of ask you, what do you think of her? What's your opinion of the updates? Are they moving the right direction, or are they missing it? I'll tell you, I like the look of it, but I'll also tell you that I don't work for Home and Garden, and I am not an interior decorator. I am not skilled in that respect. I'm good at telling you which features and widgets and whiz bangs and construction qualities are good to have. I'm not good at telling you what color it should be. So I'll leave that to you. Let us know. And if you appreciate how we get you all that footage, take care. No, wait, I jumped gears. If you appreciate how we get you all that footage, leave us a note and let us know. Subscribe, like the video. Those are the things that I should have said, but instead what I said was